Hello there, everyone in vinyl community land. It's Bill here again. I've got David Bowie looking over my shoulder. That's a acrylic painting that I did, uh, well, within the last couple of months. So yeah, it's turned out not too bad. I was using squares and doing a chuck close type approach. Check out Chuck Close's amazing portraits on the internet. So yeah, here to do a sort of quarterly report. So yeah, it's been a while. So it's quarter two, 2024, divestments and acquisitions. Or should it be acquisitions and divestments? Doesn't really matter. I've got some divestments this time round, but first of all, a little bit of a mission from the quarter one report. I forgot to show this one, which is a sort of Japanese edition CD of Decca London and the Rolling Stones' December's Children. I was astonished. This was one of these studio albums that I needed to acquire. I think of just to get Bridges to Babylon to complete the set of the Stones studio albums. And yeah, I guess December's Children is a US version, but might have some different tracks from the English equivalent, which was Out of Our Heads. Is that right? Answers on a postcard or put in the comments below. So yeah, let's see. It's very small writing here, but on this we've got Get Off My Cloud, which was a great single. I'm Free as Tears Go By. Gotta Get Away. Blue Turns to Grey. And I'm Moving On, that's side two. And yeah, great Stones track with She Said Yeah. Talking about you, You Better Move On, which is, yeah, Stone's rendition of a blues classic. Then you've got Look What You've Done, the singer, not the song, and the great Route 66, which I think was recorded by Nat King Cole and probably a few others before the Stones did their definitive version of Route 66. Can we say that? And yeah, we don't really speak about how much we pay for albums on this channel, but I was surprised that I forked out about £25 for a CD. What was I thinking? Bill, waking up. Value for money. Is this value for money? Yeah, but I think this is only one in my collection that's got the Japanese writing on it. So yeah. First up, let's speak about divestments. So yeah, after my meltdown, my existential crisis for the collection, I've decided to do a purge to keep headroom for the 1111, which is the crazy sort of limit I've put on the collection. So first set to go was a black box of jazz and the jazz recordings of Andre Previn. Can you have too much of a good thing? I think that's one of my issues with that collection. 10 CDs and a lot of really good piano jazz, as you would imagine, but yeah, never quite got into it. And then the black box of jazz had a lot of sort of essential jazz musicians doing some essential tracks. But yeah, it was they weren't the essential tracks by the essential musicians. They were by some other jazz greats. So yeah, it's left me wanting on that one. But yeah, we had another two jazz vocalists, Billy Eckstein and Sarah Vaughan, and yeah, nice vocals. But I think my problem was that there was quite a lot of violin strings. Yeah, it didn't do it for me, so it's gone. And then Billy F. Gibbons, one of the three main men from ZZ Top. He released an album in September 2018. There's some great, very ZZ Top-ish tracks on it and riffs, etc. But yeah, haven't played it. So blues rock, Texas blues, and it is no more in my collection. So yeah, Creedence Clearwater Revival live at Woodstock. And tracks include Green River, 99 and a Half Won't Do, Bad Moon Rising, Proud Mary, Susie Q. But yeah, they didn't put a spell on me. And yeah, it's no longer in the collection. So Lee Brillo's Rock and Roll Gentleman, 11 recordings with Dr. Feelgood, including Roxette, Back in the Night, Riot Going On, and Cell Block number 9. She's a Wind Up, Milk and Alcohol, Down by the Jetties Blues, and the blues had a baby and they called it rock and roll. So yeah, great set there. But yeah, I think I've got the Dr. Feelgood's casebook, and yeah, I think I'll maybe keep an eye out for Malpractice and Down by the Jetty. And yeah, I wasn't playing Lee Brillo, so it's gone. Then Sky 4 is no more, and highlights on the Swinging 60s. Interesting compilation. I think I got it for Wooly Bully. And then there was the various awards 1990, which was the contenders for the Brit Awards of that year. And again, found that I'm not listening to them any longer. So they've all gone. And we have The World of John Mayall. Decca did a lot of these The World of compilations in the late 60s, early 70s. And I think there's a World of David Bowie, and yeah, The World of British Blues, things like that. So yeah, I have the Blues Breakers or the Beano album in the collection, but I thought I should pick up some more John Mayall. So yeah, Key to Love is on the Beano album, but yeah, there's some really nice electric guitar blues and some nice harmonica on it as well. So yeah, really pleased to pick this one up. Bit of cool jazz, Mulligan and Baker. I think it's nice gatefold as well. Somebody's stuck a bit of a review of it from, I don't know which music paper it was, but yeah, there's the review of this album, which is called The Perennial Guest. So interesting, I think side one, which has some jazz standards such as Moonlight in Vermont, Lady is a Tramp, and My Funny Valentine, is unusual because there's no piano on the track at all, on the tracks at all. I think the rest of the album, the piano makes an appearance, but yes, I was really pleased to pick this up again because I like lists. I have a a jazz book, and it's got essential recordings, and this was one that was on it. Chet Baker doesn't sing on this one, but he plays a mean trumpet. So pleased to pick this one up. And then going back to sort of blues rock and the British influence in blues rock, the Best of Spencer Davis Group, featuring Stevie Winwood on vocals and quite a few instruments as well. He plays lead guitar, piano, harmonica, and organ. And then, of course, Spencer Davis himself is rhythm guitar, but he also sings on She Put the Heart on Me. But yeah, I'm a Man, Give Me Some Loving, Keep on Running. These are the standout tracks, but the whole album's really good. And then some more Bob Dylan's greatest hits. Bob Dylan's a man that I have a lot of his classic albums, but they're all on CD. So I was looking to get more Bob on vinyl. I had Freewheeling Bob Dylan, which is an absolute classic, and I had Slow Train Running featuring Mark Knopfler, but this is a good way to plug the gap. Not sure if you say it's a proper gatefold. It's got this envelope type thing, so the two vinyl records are in there. But yeah, you've got Don't Think Twice That It's All Right, Lay Lady Lay, Maggie's Farm, Positively, 4th Street, All Along the Watchtower, The Mighty Quinn, or Quinn the Eskimo, Hard Rain's Going to Fall, New Morning, I Shall Be Released, amongst others. So that's great. So I think I showed the Great Race record labels, volumes 1 and 3. And I picked this up for, I think, £2, including postage, from Music Magpie. And yeah, really pleased to have the Columbia record label, 23 tracks from them, mainly, blues artists from the 1920s and 1930s. So we've got Pink Anderson doing Every Day in the Week blues. Wonder if that's the Pink that Pink Floyd got their name from. There's the Georgia Cotton Pickers doing She Looks So Good. And we've got Peg Leg Howl, New Prison Blues. I should list the tracks that don't have the word blues in them. So we've got Country Breakdown by Charlie Lincoln, Sweet Patrina by Curly Weaver, and then Traveling Man, Coley Jones, and I Want That by Kansas Joe. But Bessie Smith's on here, Willie Reed, not Jimmy Reed, Willie Reed, but Blind Willie McTell's Razor Ball is on this great collection. And yeah, we'll stick with the blues theme. I'll show a couple of uh, photos of Jack White's Third Man record store in, or just off Carnaby Street in London. So yeah, very stylish shop. Great if you want any Third Man vinyl records, but any other vinyl, you won't find it there. I guess quite understandably. But if you've got any gaps in your White Stripes collections, or Dead Weather, or Raconteurs, that's the place to go and get them. But I picked up a double CD. It's the Ann Arbor, yeah, best to be the right way up. Ann Arbor Blues Festival 1969, volumes 1 and 2. So yeah, great lineup here. Roosevelt Sykes doing Dirty Mother for You. So he explains at the start that anything naughty going through your head is due to your own brain wave patterns and nothing to do with him whatsoever. Then we've got Arthur Big Boy Crudup doing So Glad You're Mine. There's Junior Wells, B.B. King with Sonny Freeman and the Unusuals. We've got John Henry, which is a traditional song about the guy that was pounding the irons in to create the great cross-continent railways. And that was by Mississippi Fred McDowell. And then volume 2, we've got Long Distance Call, Muddy Waters, a hugely talented harmonica player called Charlie Musselwhite doing Moving and Grooving. And Magic Sam's on this, T-Bone Walker, who's, yeah, you have to check out, Call It Stormy Monday. This is a great live recording. You feel as though you're in the room. I don't know how big the auditorium was for it. You can see, the crowd are quite close to the artist there. But yeah, at one point you can hear some coughing. And I thought, oh, what's going on here? And then there's another point where it gets quieter and you can hear people chattering away. But yeah, then, some of the electric blues instruments will kick in, and yeah, it's a really nice recording to have. So the Ann Arbor Blues Festival 1969. I've got on vinyl the 1972 version, which is, I think, better than this, but this is a nice pickup. And then, yeah, I have quite eclectic tastes, and yeah, often in the morning I will listen to Classic FM. Other classical music radio stations are available. And a few weeks back, I was listening to the radio, and this really hauntingly beautiful track came on, and I wondered, who's that? I'm not familiar with that particular classical piece, but it was by Philip Glass, and it was the second movement of his violin concerto. So I thought, yeah, you need to pick that one up, Bill. The second movement is absolutely divine. So it's maybe an acquired taste for some people, but yeah, check it out in your streaming service. That's Philip Glass and Violin Concerto, especially the second movement. Now, there's a bit of a story about this next one as well. love this album. To me, it's a 5-star album. I think I had this taped off a CD from the record library and played the cassette in my car on my commute to work. Absolutely loved every track on this. It's got a really nice sort of flow between the tracks. I think Justin Curry is like a poet laureate of Scotland. I think he would give Robert Burns a run for his money. His lyrics are absolutely fabulous, very thought-provoking. Things like Food for Songs and Crashing Down, Roll to Me, Driving with the Brakes On. Seemingly that's a reference to something else, but yeah. Tell Her This. Yeah, it's a fabulous record. I love the artwork as if it's somebody doodling. So a local record shop said that this was available on vinyl again. I think I was looking for this on vinyl before this re-release, and I think it was £150 or something. So this was not as much as that, but I'm so pleased to pick this one up. So I had it on order from the record shop, and one of the record shops in Aberdeen, and would used Facebook Messenger to do the deal, and I sent a message saying, "Has it arrived yet?" And the answer was no. And then about 6 or 8 weeks later, I sent another message saying, "Has it arrived yet?" And the owner said, "Oops, yes, it's in store." So I hot-footed it along and got it. So really pleased to get that. Then this is a nice sleeve with a die cut. This is a great Leeds band called English Teacher. The album's called This Could Be Texas. Difficult to describe this, actually. I picked it up on a recommendation from a culture supplement of a Sunday newspaper. And yeah, some of I think there's like a spoken word rather than sung vocals. And yeah, there's a track called Broken Biscuits, which is great. There's I'm Not Crying, You're Crying. The World's Biggest Paving Slab. I think it's a sort of slightly different metaphor for being a doormat, people walking all over you. So the world's biggest paving slab is great. And yeah, Albatross is really good, but it's not the Albatross by Fleetwood Mac. But yeah, this is totally different to a lot of stuff I've heard recently, but this is my first pickup of something released in 2024. So really thoroughly recommend This Could Be Texas by English Teacher. And then I spoke about that Red Robin vinyl cafe where I bought vinyl and coffee beans. Sadly, it closed. They had a closing down sale with quite generous discounts. So I picked up 2 classic soul albums. Temptations are one of my favorite bands of all time. I think Papa Was a Rolling Stone is the greatest recording of all time. I just love that track. But this is Cloud 9. It's obviously got the track Cloud 9 on it. Side 1 is fabulous. It's got Cloud 9, followed by I Heard It Through the Grapevine, a slightly different angle to the Marvin Gaye or Creedence Clearwater Revival tracks. Really good version though. And Runaway Child, Running Wild, which is extended to 9 minutes 38 seconds. Produced by the great Norman Whitfield. Just fabulous harmonies, different singers taking the lead on different tracks. Fabulous. And another fabulous one is Al Green. This is I'm Still in Love with You. Title track is great, but Love and Happiness, simply beautiful. A different version of Oh Pretty Woman, the great Roy Orbison track. A couple more to show you. I had this on electronic sort of digital version, but when I saw this one, Oliver Nelson and the Blues and the Abstract Truth on vinyl, I just opened my wallet and said, take my money. The lineup of the jazz musicians on this album is fabulous. So Oliver Nelson plays alto sax and tenor sax. The great Eric Dolphy does alto saxophone and flute, jazz flute. Freddie Hubbard on trumpet. Someone that I'm not familiar with, but George Barrow on baritone saxophone. Then we have the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Bill Evans on piano. Paul Chambers on the upright bass. That guy is fabulous. And Roy Haynes on drums. Stolen Moments, I think, is up there with anything found on Miles Davis's Kind of Blue. And yeah, fabulous blue jazz album from start to finish. Now, when I was down in London, it was actually a weekend because my daughter was taking part in the London Landmarks half marathon. I think that was about 2 or 3 weeks before the proper. I haven't run a half marathon, but before the proper full marathon. So that was great. So my wife and I went down with my daughter to give her support. So yeah, while we were there, we managed to get tickets for a great live show set in 1930s Berlin, and that's of course Cabaret. And yeah, Cara Delevingne was playing Sally Bowles, but the whole theatre experience was wonderful. The musicians in the orchestra, the chorus and the main actors, main singers were at the top of their game. So a thoroughly enjoyable evening. I felt I was in 1930s Berlin, and all the sort of burlesque and yeah, the sort of risque theatre of the time. So that was Cabaret. So a few weeks later, I was in Elgin, and I was in a shop called Sound and Vision. I'll link back to David Bowie there. The shop was called Sound and Vision. Place in Elgin, lots of musical instruments, but they had some secondhand vinyl and new vinyl too. So if you're in the sort of Morayshire, Speyside, that sort of direction in the northeast of Scotland, check out Sound and Vision. But I thought, I was looking through a part of the rack that said musicals and soundtracks, and I thought, oh, it'd be great to pick up a copy of Cabaret. And yeah, mission accomplished. Joel Gray played the Master of Ceremonies. So very pleased to pick up this one with, yeah, Money, Money and Cabaret and Willkommen. Yeah, really great to have that. Now, when I was picking up the Bob Dylan, the Spencer Davis, the Jerry Mulligan, and Chet Baker, and the John Mayall, I saw another record, and I thought at the time, oh, that's interesting, but I'll leave it. And then I had to go back. That was on the Saturday. I had to go back on the Monday or Tuesday and pick it up. It's a blues compilation, and covering deliberately part of it. So there's some interesting tracks from the 30s and 40s. I'm not sure if I can read out any of the names of the tracks. There's maybe a couple that I can say. I Need a Little Sugar in My Bowl, and Don't You Make Me High, Press My Button, and Barbecue Bess, I think. So the blues, as you know, or quite often in the blues, there's a bit of innuendo. So they're singing about something, but you know they're singing about something else. Well, these 16 tracks are let's say, explicit. They leave nothing to the imagination. But there's some great piano and clarinet. I think one of them has Sidney Bechet playing on it, and Jack Teagarden and Benny Goodman. But there's a lot of female vocalists, and you know, I blush at some of the words that are coming out of their mouths. So Jelly Roll Morton's on here as well. So lots of tracks from, I think the earliest one is from 1929, and the latest one is from 1940. But yeah, I'm really pleased to have picked this one up, but yeah, I'm not sure how much I could really get away with on YouTube. So I think it's probably X-rated, but that one will be staying in the collection anyway. So that's it for me for the Q2 2024 quarterly report. And yeah, there's still some CDs that will be finding their way out of the collection, but they'll maybe stay here for a wee while yet. So bye just now. Take care.